boys, how's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast only so amazing describes as the one that initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to discover the creative workflow of other famed musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are also sponsored by Dark Vision Systems, the best for your custom competing needs. Get $100 off your telescope CP-Pod at darkvisionsystems.com. Links to the podcast below. Let's go to our feature presentation. The guys at No Exceptions came to the podcast back at the end of 2023 during our Canadian hardcore focus run as a punk rock band, and they're back. After a year and a half, they've gone through a lot. We talk about the importance of networking as a musician, especially as a growing musician, and how far it can get you when you actually put all the time and effort into it. How they got on the Rock the Park show on July 11th in Canada with Cancer Bats, Dayseeker, Under Oath, and Bad Omens. And they have a new EP coming out called Kind Regards, coming out in the summertime, and we go through each and every song with the band. You guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. If we were back in the end of 2023, we went on this whole entire Canadian hardcore music kick, bringing out all these great bands from the Canadian hardcore scene. And this band, definitely more on the punk side of that, decided they wanted to come back on the podcast because over the past year and a half, a lot of crazy shit has happened. Plus, they've got a brand new EP called Kind Regards coming your way sometime this summer, possibly early in the summer, maybe a little bit in the middle of summer. Who knows at this point, but when it comes out, you better be ready for it. So please welcome back Jet, Tommy, Drew, and Sam from No Exceptions to the podcast. So boys, welcome back.
Woo! Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being back on. And well, first off, thanks for reaching out and being like, hey, can we do this again? And I was just like, yeah. And then I completely just was losing my mind on a couple other things. So it took me a little bit of time to respond. So I'm sorry about that.
No worries, man. Glad we could do it. Love the podcast, so it's good.
Yeah, thanks for having us back.
I'm going to give you guys the little heart hands, but like the old style heart hands, not like the, nah, screw that. We got to go full hands.
I don't know that one. Is that new?
I don't know. I keep seeing it from younger people. You know, young people these days, they're a little weird.
Yeah,
they're kind of crazy with it. I don't know. I don't get the youth today.
Yeah. You know,
Stupid.
we're trying to stay connected.
How am I staying connected more than you guys? Jeez, are you guys getting older than I am quicker? What the fuck's going on?
I mean, some of us are probably older than we look, but I don't know.
We do have very young sensibilities, so that's probably what it's about.
Immature at heart. That's what's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the heart. You know what I'm saying?
Mature in mind, immature at heart, so you still know exactly how to go through life, but you do it in the most fun and ridiculous way possible. That's the way to go about it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's jump into it because you guys said that a whole bunch of crazy stuff has happened since we last had you on in December of 2023. We're coming into summer of 2025 right now, so we've got about a year and a half to go through and look at. So give me the backstory. Give me the history update. What the hell has all happened since our last episode?
Allow me. Yeah, so I think last time we talked to you, we were basically a day into the release of our last EP. So that was we didn't really know how the public was going to receive it, I guess, or whatever. But people have liked it. Our one single had gotten lots of streams since that last period of time, which has been great for us. Been playing London and our surrounding area a lot. And then towards later last year, we started picking up slowly, slightly bigger shows. We got offered there's this fair that goes on in London every year called Western Fair, and they usually have pretty big names come through there. So we actually got to open for Everclear and Treble Charger before some questionable things happened with that band. But we maybe played their last show, which I guess is cool. Yikes. But no, it was a really cool opportunity for us either way. And after that, got to impress some people and have been in networking. And just as of a few weeks ago, got to finally announce that we're opening London's Rock the Park Festival to open for bands such as Bad Omens, Dayseeker, Under Oath, and Cancer Bats, which are local legends for us. So it's super good.
That was really well said.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No, I thought that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, good job, Drew. Good job.
See, now you give me the synopsis of it, and now it's time for me to dive deeper into this because of course, I'm going to have to ask questions about how this all came to be. I can't just let it sit pat and have like, a minute-long segment of the update without diving deeper into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing my job right, would I, boys?
No, you would not.
Okay, so let's start out with this. So, of course, you released the To Whom It May Concern EP right about the last time we talked. And like one of the singles, of course, off of that was getting a lot of streams and a lot more consistently viewed, played, everything like that. So was there something specific that you guys did to push that song out there? Was it an organic thing? And then when that song you saw was popping off, specifically, what did you guys do to take advantage of it to make sure that you guys were playing bigger shows that eventually led you to where we are today with you guys going to be opening Rock the Park in, Canada for Bad Omens and Underoath, which is nuts.
Got anything?
Man, I don't
take that one.
Yeah,
You go for it, Sam.
Yeah, so I think honestly a big thing for that one was the first time we've kind of done like a music video for a project. It was kind of just more of like live shot of us playing at a show called the El Macombo. It's a really famous Toronto venue, and also when we actually work at a place called Centennial Hall in London. We were able to take advantage of that and like shoot some video in there. And I think just having that like bonus video attached to the song like definitely helped people like look up the song and be like, oh, look, these are the people playing the song and whatnot. And just like it also, I remember it did get on one of Spotify's playlists, which I think really helped us out there.
Yeah, I've had many a conversation with people around when it comes to, or especially recently too, whether it's Spotify playlisting, and of course, TikTok shorts, Instagram reels, the sounds that are clipped there, and how big that's become over the past couple of years. And of course, there's so much more to dive deeper into that. But when you're talking about having a actual video attached to it, but a live video attached to it, now, of course, because I completely forgot about the video, let me ask this. When it comes to the video, though, is it a live video you guys playing and having the live audio? Or is it like a live video that you recorded and then you put the actual like recorded version of the song over it to create more of that music video feel for the, video?
Yeah, it was definitely the latter where it was like just like live shots while we had the studio track play over it. And it was just like a mashup of different shots from that entire gig that we had at the El Macombo. And yeah, I think it turned out really well. We had some really great videographers working with us. And yeah, it looks really nice and I'm really proud of it.
So next time you guys do something like that, because I feel like here's going to be another video that's going to be connected to a live setting. I think the best music video I've ever seen that had that live setting connection to it was Wasted Age by We Came as Romans. Go and check it out. And the reason I say that is because the audio quality of the song, it's the recorded version. It is there. But they have the video of them playing it live, and they just have audio of the crowd reaction added to it. So it sounds crisp. It sounds clear. But you get the feel like you're actually in a live setting to it. That was one thing that like entrenched me into the song a lot further upon first listen, because of course I watched a music video with it. So if you guys haven't a chance to do something about like that, especially with one of the upcoming songs or another song that you might be working on after the release of the Kind Regards EP, give that a shot. See how that works, because it gives that live feel, but it also gives off the high quality of a music, like a sound that you want to put out in a music video that doesn't have that just straight live feel to it.
Definitely, absolutely. I feel obliged to. Where are we like above? I don't know how this is laid out, but point out your poster whenever you mention We Came as Romans.
You guys will be on the left of me, so if you point,
there it is.
Yeah, if you point to other way.
Other way, there it is. Check that poster, everybody.
Which one, the banner or the dark poster here that you can't really tell what it is?
I was referring to the banner behind, but yeah.
I got the banner back there, and I got a signed poster from their fall 2023 tour over here.
Nice.
It's like laminated, like shiny, glossy. So of course, the slight, it just doesn't work well with it. But if I move over, it's like the camera might pick up on it, but it's really not that, standoutish. But I can look at it.
I will add, though, like he did mention it, but yeah, definitely a big part of that twisting the knife was like kind of just getting blessed by the Spotify algorithms, and like even just Release Radar was picking it up for a lot of people. And I think because like the cover art was weirdly like eye-catching, I think people just happened to click on it, and then once like 100 people clicked on it, then it started throwing it in front of a lot more people. So it was like really good for us. It was cool.
Eye-catching, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting, because that's not something I really think about when it comes to Spotify playlisting or the Spotify algorithm in terms of the artwork that's attached to it. Of course, we all know how important the artwork is, whether it's on a single EP album, but you never really think about it as a thing that's going to draw people into clicking on that song and checking it out. You never think of it being that way because you, especially if I'm just, scrolling through Spotify and I see something random come up and all I see is the album artwork, it could be cool. I could be curious about it. But if I'm not sure exactly what genre that band is or what kind of sound they make, I could be clicking on one of the coolest album covers I ever heard and hear some like bro country song that I really don't care about and then want to get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about how you get them, clickbait them with the single cover.
Hey, but it's the way the game is played now. It's the way that you have to get yourself out there, and you've seen what happened when you released Twisting the Knife. That worked. It happened. And now you can figure out how to maximize out on that, of course, with new releases that are coming up in the future and continue to evolve as, of course, Spotify evolves, streaming evolves, everything with social media continues to evolve, and, of course, what's going to come after that, because every time something's going to come around, especially when it comes to music delivery or social media, it's going to be replaced by something else. We just don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the game, man. That's the game we're playing, always trying to keep up,
So when it comes to trying to keep up, what have you guys learned over the last year and a half, just so that other bands and other artists can get a look at, the success you guys are seeing? What have you discovered during that time? And what are you continuing to use as, of course, we get to the release of Kind Regards and getting to the point of opening for Bad Omens and Under Oath at Rock the Park?
Well, I think a big part of it is definitely the networking and getting out and just going out to as many shows as you can and just like meeting so many other people in bands. Cause then at the same time, you have no idea who you might run into, right? Like you could be talking to that one dude that's at the bar, but he might know like 30 people that would do great things for your band, right? And also like another thing with the EP, the last one that we just put out, To Whom It May Concern, we didn't really do too much in the sense of like promotion for that one, and I think that was like a big lesson that we kind of had to learn. Absolutely. So like we're taking this next one a lot more seriously in that way of like do what we did for the last EP, but like 50 times bigger and better. So yeah, like that's the main lesson, I think, is just networking and just honestly just putting a lot more work into it in terms of like once it's done and you have the final product, that's the easy part. Now is the hard part and the actual work starts.
Yeah, because your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. And when it comes to networking, I think that's something that not only do a lot of artists forget about, especially younger artists, but just people in general that want to get further in life and want to, maybe get a better job or, it's like, okay, I'm feeling a little like self-conscious. I'm trying to, get myself out there. Well, the best thing you can do is talk to people and get to know people because you never know exactly what's going to happen. But like you said, you're at a bar, you're at a venue, and you're talking to somebody. You don't know who they are, but there's a chance that person might know, again, 30 other people. You might be sitting next to someone's, like a band manager for some big band, and they went to go check out a small band, and the fact that they had a conversation with you, they're going to remember that. And the consistency of seeing people at that venue or at these shows or just constantly showing up, especially for you guys. There are 4 of you. It's not like everybody has to be at the same show, but if one of you guys are going to if someone's going to this show, someone's going to the other show, and there's just multiple shows you guys are going to every single week, and it's just constantly having the name No Exceptions put out there to people, that's just going to create that positive traction that's going to continue forward. You can always do that online too, because online you have a much larger, vast majority people you can reach out to. But when you do it in person, especially when you're at a show or you're at a venue or you're at some place where there's a lot of rock musicians, a lot of fans, a lot of people that like this kind of music, you have the ability to connect with them on such a more, incredibly deep level and a more personal level in such a quicker time than trying to message them online. And it's something a lot easier to remember because you're sitting and talking with them. You're having a conversation with them. You're feeding off that positive energy. If you send a message to them online, they might get to it. They might forget about it. But if you're at them in person, they can't forget about it. They can't just let it slide because they got to answer to you right then and there.
If I could add to that, like genuinely, that I would say is one of the biggest things that has helped us over the last 2 years. Like, I think we hit on it last time we were talking, but like, we're blessed that London has like a really, really good music scene where we're from. And so like there's always really great shows going on, and like even outside of the city, like talent, people coming through that are just like super impressive to watch all the time. And like that would be almost like my advice for any band that's like, if not even trying to like make it to the next step, just to get your first show, is like going out and talking to people, and like not even necessarily being like, hey, this is me, I'm in a band, check us out. Like that's a little hard and abrasive, but like just being like, oh, why did you come out to the show? Like, who are you here to see? Oh, this band? Oh yeah, I've talked to them a few times. Me and them have actually chatted about this music. I'm in a band that makes stuff kind of like them or whatever. Like that's super important. Obviously there's 100 things you can do as a band that's gonna be important and get you to that next step, but that one, like you said, is forgot about a lot. And it has really helped us being able to back that up with obviously good music too. Like, we can pat our own backs, but like I think it helps that people tend to like what we show them when we have that too, but it's super important.
It is really important, even from my standpoint too, from a podcaster standpoint. It's the same thing. I bring a lot of bands to the show, and every time a band is coming through Milwaukee or they go to Chicago and I've had them on the podcast, I try and make it a point to go down and see them play live. Lately, I haven't been able to see as many shows as I would like, but it's just the way life has been going recently. But if I get a chance, I'm going to go out and see them. I'm going to try and make that appearance and at least say hi, because you never know exactly who's all going to be there. You never know what's going to happen. And through doing that, at times, I've met other bands and have met other people just because they wanted to hang out with these bands. And we start talking, they find out that I interviewed them, and now they want to go check out the show. Or a band introduced me to another band, and then a year and a half later, I get to bring them on the podcast. That's how I end up getting Holy in Absence on the podcast for their 2023 album, all because I brought a case of beer to the guys in Caskets, and when I knocked on the bus door, Caskets wasn't there, but Holy in Absence was. And, well, if you got a case of beer and you're bringing it to a band's bus, the chance of you getting on that bus and talking to them for a little bit is probably really high, because who's going to say no to free beer, man?
Another great tip for people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beer will get you in anywhere.
Yeah.
Beer will get you anywhere. You know what else will get you in anywhere? If you walk in with a ladder. Because who's going to question the dude walking with a ladder?
Yeah.
Try not to show up to like an AA meeting with a case of beer, though. They might get pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of bad.
Yeah.
But you never know what might happen with that. But again, it's you put yourself out there. You have to try, basically. It's not easy to try that too. Like you said, it's the hard part about it. Making the music and, going through the creative process, that's not easy. But compared to having to do the dirty work of getting up, going to these shows, of course it's fun, but there are times where, you're tired, you're exhausted, you just want to take a break. But you always have to think too, there's a lot of bands out there and a lot of people out there that could have been successes, but they decided to take too many breaks, and they decided, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. And then it didn't get to that point where they didn't give themselves the opportunity to connect with that one person or be at that one show or that one thing happen. If you guys continue to do that, though, and continue to put yourselves out there by going to these shows, again, you're going to continue to put yourself in opportunities to talk to people, to get to know people, to grow what No Exceptions is in the community and grow it as a fan base, so that what's going to happen on July 11th is going to be one of the coolest things ever.
Right, exactly. And I'd say, like, on that point, I would say the marketing just scales. Like, it never stops. Or marketing, or what was the word I was using? Sorry, like networking. Because like our Western Fair show, for example, like being able to impress the right people at a show that was already like a step up of an opportunity for us, and then like be very respectful about how we play the show, make sure we're doing all the right moves at the show, and make sure the right people are impressed by how we carry ourselves at something like that, then goes on to benefit us even more in the future, and like is another thing that kind of helped us get something even bigger this year. So
well, let's jump to that something even bigger and tell me the backstory around that. How the heck did you guys get on the Rock the Park bill? Again, I gotta keep saying open for Bad Omens and Under Oath. That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock from it. I feel like we all kind of are. Yeah. But so yeah, Rock the Park, it's this festival in London that happens every year. It's a multi-day, multi-genre festival. And I've actually, for the last 3 years, I've worked at the festival just as a stagehand and a roadie. And we were also just like, it all just honestly comes down to networking, just like making sure that No Exceptions is just in front of everybody. And yeah, it's like, it's not really like a deep story or anything. It was just, we got offered it this year. And I think just having our music and our presence in front of the right people at the right time, and like not making it like abrasive, just like, and then it just happened, and could not be more grateful for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing, sorry, I would just, to make sure everybody gets their dues, I did want to mention too, like with the new EP are recording, our producer that we're working with, Aaron Murray from London, who's like awesome, super talented, highly recommend.
Got great hair.
Yeah. He also had like definitely had a hand in it with like sending our EP once we're like finished it to the right people and powerful people in that way too, like powerful people. But you know, like people it's good to get the music in front of, and so like every network we could have to try and make sure it's out there was utilized.
I mean, if we've hammered on anything over the past 20 minutes to anybody out there, whether you're an artist, a fan, or just love music, or just are trying to get anywhere in life, maybe a little bit faster, networking is such a big, big part of it, and it does take a lot of work, but when you put in the work, you reap the rewards, and look at the rewards that are happening. So it just continues to build up for you guys. It continues to grow to the point where you're getting your EP out into the right hands, into the right ears before the release of it. And that may help out with getting it on the Spotify algorithms. Once again, getting it playlisted might help out with getting a moment on TikTok or on Instagram with a viral reel. And of course, aren't going to market. You're not going to like create a song to specifically try and get to that reel. But if you have a moment that pops off and it's organic, that's where then the song structure that's underneath the rest of the song is going to hold up. So when people go check out the song, they're not just waiting for that one moment. They're going to pass on it right after that moment hits. They're going to want to listen to the whole entire thing. But beyond that, it just shows how you continue to carry yourselves through those time frames by being authentically yourselves, but also being I would say approachable and other people want to work with. Especially in the music industry, I've heard plenty of stories where there are bands that are starting to grow, that are starting to do well, and then it's like, their kind of inhibitions go to the wind. They start acting a little bit of a fool on tour, and other bands that are been doing this for quite some time, and of course that's their sole source of income. They don't want some opening band or some younger band coming through and potentially ruining a lot of it just because of the way they're acting. If you guys continue to act in a great manner that people want to continue to work with, and they know that you're going to bring that energy every single time, then you're going to get shows like Westgate. You're going to get shows like Rock the Park. You're going to end up getting tour offers to go out on the road and support bands for 20 to 30 days at a time. It's going to happen, and it just continues to show that you guys are not only seeing how you have to do this, but by doing this still in a way that keeps No Exceptions who you guys are, and not, bowing down to changing who you are for it, but just making sure you guys know what you have to do in order to continue going forward and continue to grow and get your music out in front of I'm not saying the right people, but get out in front of everybody.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like, we're heavy punk musicians, whatever, it's cool to like play the punk musician, but it's not going to do you any favors to be an asshole like to the wrong people, like
pretty much. Because if all of a sudden you're an asshole, like other tour managers or people that are helping you with like other stagehands or roadies or people that are just trying to check out your stuff, check out your music, and you just kind of, let's just say, not give them the time of day or just not even say hello to them, they'll remember that. Bad news travels faster than good news ever did. So it's always one thing to remember, too, for every other band. If there's going to be some bad news that's out there about your band, that's going to travel fast and far. Good news, it's like if that's going to travel far, it's going to take a long time, and it's going to have to be a lot of pieces of good news to get out that far.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think we're just all really grateful, and we don't take anything for granted either, Like, I don't know, Western Fair, we were really nice to security guards. They're the most badass people I've ever met. They treated us with like, they were like,
We took a selfie
yeah,
with the
no,
one security
yeah, we
guard,
took
which
like a
was lovely.
selfie, like they were cool. It was a really cool crew, and like just moments like that, like we just, I don't know, like we're all just trying to we're all part of this like little music mosh pit, and we all play different roles. That's how I think of it. Like
Yep.
we're the band, and it's like boom. It's just everybody's got a role in the mosh pit. Like somebody's gonna pick people up. Some people are the pushers, and it's just like I don't know. Like we all have a role, and we're all part of it. Whether you like just listening to music, whether you're the security guard, whether you're the promoter, whether you're the band. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
We all got to work together and make this little music mosh pit work at the very end of the day. That's how I like to think of it. But yeah. Anyway, so we're just very grateful and just yeah.
That's a good way to
Cool.
think about it. Like, think like a live show. Everybody that's there has a part to play in order to make that show great. The band has a part to play in order to play the music and drive the energy. The roadies, the stage hands, the tour manager, the rest of the venue staff have the responsibility or have their job of making sure that the stage production is there, making sure the sound's good, making sure the lights are good. Security has a job making sure that people are safe, making sure that nothing goes awry. And in the crowd, we have a responsibility too of responding to that energy and continuing to make that show a great piece of just, I'll even say art too, because it's like an art form of a great show. There's shows I've been to that have been complete duds, and there's shows I've been to that I never forget about because of how insane it actually was. But when you have everyone playing their part in that, and you take responsibility for your part in that, then you get that beautiful piece of harmony of absolute chaos that can be a punk rock show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little bit of organized chaos, you know? It's just boom, just there. It's good stuff.
That's why it's like, alrighty, you know, we're the band, we're no exceptions, and we want to thank you guys for coming out today. Now let's get fucked up, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, what the fuck is up, Denny's?
If you guys come to America on a tour, you guys have to go to a Denny's late at night and just walk in and scream, "What the fuck is up, Denny's?"
Well, you have to be there, okay? You have to be there when that happens. We'll make sure you can be there, whatever this Denny's is, and then we'll all just hang out, and you can do the honors, saying what the fuck is up, Denny's.
Yes, we'll show up to each of your local Denny's.
Yeah,
That'll be like
yeah.
our city tradition. Each city
It'll be-
will be like, where's your closest Denny's? And what is the least busy time that we can show up there?
It'll be the Denny's tour.
yeah. The Denny's across America tour.
Yeah.
Hosted by no exception.
Dude, that'd be actually... Now, think about that from a marketing perspective. You guys go out to America, you play like 20 or 30 dates, and then after every single date, like every single show, at the end of it, you guys pack up, and the whole thing is after that show is done, you guys take the bus, the van, the trailer, whatever it is, to the nearest Denny's, and you guys eat there, and you just have people show up because then Denny's is going to end up getting some good business out of it. It's going to become like a thing that people focus in on. And of course, when you guys come to like Milwaukee, all of a sudden I'll be sitting at a Denny's. You guys will walk in, you know, what the fuck is up, Denny's? And I might just sell out and be like, hey, I'm eating here. What the fuck's up with you?
I feel like we'd have to get that band Live Without though on it.
Yeah.
That's the band that did the What the Fuck is Up Denny's originally. It was like, and they just opened for Blink 182 like a couple years ago because of the Denny's thing, which is nuts. And they're like this they're like a hardcore like deathcore band.
Damn.
So seeing that, like all the Blink fans had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, so they said, what the fuck is up, whatever arena they're in right now.
They did do that, and that's the one part that people knew, but
That's amazing.
like watching live videos of it, it's like this is hilarious. No one knows what's happening.
So it's like for you guys to pull off something like that, if you guys want to go out with a band that like bands that would just absolutely run in that kind of similar mindset and style, especially here in America, the two I can think of is one is Silly Goose. Because Silly Goose is just known for doing the most random things, random shows, showing up at random parking lots. And the second one is...
I fucking love Silly Goose.
And the second one is Avoid. Just manically
sick.
crazy guys. And
Was that band open for Wade?
they...
Yeah.
I'll say they're the ones, especially in America, that especially in the rock and metal scene, I think they've taken the mantle of showing everybody how great the gas station Buc-ee's is.
Oh yeah, Buc-ee's.
Want to take?
I mean, I don't have anything to add to that, but I've definitely only learned about the American gas station Buc-ee's in the last few years due to a lot of social media things.
That's how
That
I learned about
networking
it.
again.
I'll say that's how I learned about it too, especially because here where I'm from, we don't have Buc-ee's. That's more of a Southern United States thing. And like the first time I went to it, it was it was. I think the word gas pro shops definitely stands out because it is huge. They have their own merchandise. They have shit. They have like 100 cooler doors full of the craziest drinks. They make fresh brisket sandwiches right in front of you. First time I went, I got 2 things from Buc-ee's. I got a fleece blanket because I forgot my sleeping bag for a camping trip, and I bought a beach towel that says I Heart Buc-ee's on it, but it's I Heart and then just the beaver head. So it says I Heart Beaver. I still have the towel. The blanket, which was just a big giant beaver head, is somewhere in Argentina right now.
Hell yeah.
Oh wow.
As a Canadian, I guess I'm proud that you guys are so proud of the beaver as well.
We love the beaver, and especially recently they've announced, especially here where I'm from, Milwaukee, they're trying to put the beaver in at a place like in an exit on the southern tip of like the city of Milwaukee, and it's like, oh, this will be great, and it's gonna be right next door to a strip club.
That's accurate. I mean, what better place to put a giant beaver?
Hey, 2 beavers, 1 exit.
Beaver a restaurant?
No.
Oh, no, I'm thinking Little Beaver. That's what it is.
At least not that I'm familiar with.
No. Never
Bucky
mind.
Beaver,
Disregard that
Little
whole
Beaver,
comment.
leave it to Beaver. We're all about the beaver here.
Look, while we're on the subject, I will say any band that's wanting to have a stupid tour across America with shenanigans as such,
We're hitting Denny's, we're hitting
Yeah.
Beaver.
hit us up. It sounds like fun.
We're hitting Denny's, we're hitting Bucky's. There's got to be one other random thing you can hit. Well, if there's not a Denny's around, you're hitting the Waffle House.
up, Oliver?
Rainforest Cafe.
Yes.
If they still have them, I can't remember where they are
Yo,
anymore. If
We've
it's at
got
that
one.
many.
What about-
Do
Do you guys have a Chuck E. Cheese there?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
that's
it.
going,
That's
what
the
the
one.
fuck is up, Chuck E. Cheese? Boom.
That's it.
That would go hard.
But when you guys play, you can't actually be like all energetic and go crazy. You have to try and play like an animatronic mouse and whatever other
Yeah.
mascots they had.
5 Nights at
Yeah,
Freddy's.
we'll wear the costumes. We're good at that.
Yeah, I just heard 5 Nights at Freddy's. No, you got to go all Willy's Wonderland with it, so I can run around like Nick Cage trying to beat the crap out of everybody, and all I do is scream.
You're not allowed to speak. You can't say a single word when you do that.
No, because the only word I'll say is just. I'll just grunt and scream the whole time. That's all he does in the movie.
Perfect. What a great movie. That movie was a fucking fever dream.
I didn't see it.
What movie?
Willy's Wonderland. It's literally 5 Nights at Freddy's, but it's Nick Cage just fucking up these animatronics, and he doesn't say a single word the entire movie.
Just screams.
No.
What you were talking about.
No, this is a completely different movie.
Wow.
No,
It's nuts.
This is a movie that you want to sit down, you want to watch with your friends, and you want to make sure that there is either a good amount of alcohol or other mind-bending substances while you watch it. It is
Yeah,
a
it's definitely
trip.
one of those movies.
Sounds like a good time.
I told
That's
I
horrible.
during the pandemic I watched it. I was drinking during it. I thought it was too damn funny. I called my brother and he's like, "Well, I've got other things I can take, but I'm not really not really drinking right now." I'm like, "Take the other stuff and watch. I don't care. It's still gonna be great."
Right?
It's the way it's gotta be. But enough about Nick Cage, enough about the Beaver, and enough about Denny's. We got a brand new EP from you guys coming out sometime this summer. So let's jump into that before we get, too distracted on the greatness that is Nick Cage movie. So when it comes to Kind Regards, when it comes to this EP, writing it, working on it, what was that like and what was the inspiration behind these 4 songs?
Well, this EP kind of acts as like a part 2 to the first one. So the first one was very, I don't know, surrounded by like a lot of anger and attack and like wanting to get shit back in a sense. And then Kind Regards is like, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's got like the heaviest song that we've written on there. It's just more about like letting go of all that kind of pain and stuff and just kind of like a nice kind of gentle fuck you, whatever. I'm just gonna live my life and do whatever the fuck I want to do. So that's kind of like where this album kind of started with. We definitely ended up going back with EP. Yeah, EP. Sorry, not album. My apologies. It's an EP. It's a part 2. But we went back with Aaron Murray, which me and Sam, when we were just in the band, we worked with him on our very first EP we ever did, and it just kind of felt like home. And it was, I don't know, like, again, he has really nice hair, so like, we're like, that was one of the things we're like, we gotta work with him again. he's just got a really creative mind, and he's not afraid to like, it's not good enough. Maybe we could do something else. And like he really pushes us to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more, uh, I don't know, analytical. Is that the word? And analytical.
Just think about our choices more.
Yeah, like he just makes us think about things that we kind of want to write about, and because I'm very personal when I write stuff, but he tries to make it a little bit more like, well, you could be writing about this one thing, but you have to like say it in a way that like people could really understand and, translate it in their own kind of words or ways of thinking. So I don't know. He pushes me definitely as a writer and a lyricist to like be a little bit more general, still tell the story that I want to tell, but like, it could be like a breakup song, but it could be about losing someone to two different people, and they could just, and then it's a beautiful little message. So I don't know. I think definitely this EP was a little bit more work to do. It definitely took a little bit more time, but it was a very fun process, and I think we all kind of, I don't know, we really definitely got to shine on this EP as individuals as well. So
May I?
yeah.
I think we should all speak on at least on a little bit on maybe each of the songs or something. But all I was basically gonna say on top of that is like this is a good like again it's like bookend to the first EP as like To Whom It May Concern being basically the opening of this like figurative letter that is being closed with our Kind Regards EP, which will allow us to move into our next era of being a band. Um, and like on what he was talking about with the production, our last EP we were very proud of, and I think it still is like I'm very proud of it. And at the time I was like, man, this sounds so professional quality, like it's crazy. Now I'm like, this one sounds like the production is like so insane. It's really good. It's just I don't know how to say it without because I don't want to disparage our last one either. That one was awesome. It's just this one has like what I would call modern production, I guess, and like it's a lot cleaner and way more intentional in some of the choices. Um,
I think the first one's more raw, and the second one's got more bells and whistles. Where like you don't like if you really listen to it and key in on it, it's like, oh, wow, and now you really hear that little guitar part, that little, voicing of something. Whereas the first EP is just like, it was in your face, and it's like, it was just like good shit. But like,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, but like this one's like a little bit more like, ooh, I didn't notice that one before the first time I heard it, and then it's like now you're listening for it, and boom. So. Yeah, I think this one's got more bells and whistles. That's what I would.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And then just on like a specific song choice, if there's anyone I would specifically talk about personally, would be one of our singles that'll be coming out for it, if not already out at the time of this episode release, is called Pleasure, which is definitely one of our heavier ones. And like I am personally very proud of that song because the breakdown at the end of that song was like the first thing for the band after like joining the established band that I got to like when we were sitting in a band practice be like, hey, what if we play this part at this part? All I did was basically move some notes around and make like a breakdown's not complicated, but I wrote it and I was very proud of that. And now it's finally coming out. So, pleasure. Anyway, that's my baby. I'll let Sam talk about his baby.
Yeah. Okay. So
You have a baby?
no, I don't have a baby. No. Yeah. So there's our first single that's going to be coming out whenever it comes out. It's called Rest of Our Lives. It's a song that we've had in the band for a long time now. I think since before we've had Jed or Drew in the band, and it's just one band practice. We were just kind of jamming around, and I was just playing like random notes, just like in between songs, just because I don't know, I was bored, and you have a guitar in front of you, you just fuck around on it. But yeah, I started playing like these like 3-4 chords, and then Tom was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." And then I eventually got Tommy just to play that part because I like heard a little riff in my head, and then I was able to figure that part out. And then that's kind of like the main lead riff that starts at the beginning of the song. And yeah, it just all kind of came together, and we like over the years remixed the parts, changed things up, and with our new producer Aaron Murray, he like really helped us change up those parts, make it really like punch at the right parts, and just have like we were saying, the bells and whistles, just like little guitar parts here and there, and also just like a comedic performance in there as well. Yeah, it's just like a really fun time recording that song. And yeah, it was just kind of my baby.
Nice. I don't know if you want to talk again
Yeah,
on specifically Kind Regards. Or Decay if you want.
Yeah, who wants to talk about their baby next?
I stole pleasure, but whatever
That's
you two want to talk
all right.
You could go for
Here.
Decay if you want. I'll do the other one.
All right.
Want.
I'll touch a little bit on Kind Regards just for one point, but I'll leave the rest of that. Yeah, so we actually, most of this EP was recorded in Aaron's basement. It wasn't like we went to like a legit studio or anything. Like all the guitars, the bass, the vocals, and like all the extra production was all in his basement. And then we did all the drums in a church, which was a really cool experience. There's there's a guy, Owen Davey, and him and his family have this church, and he's got like this insane studio setup in this church, and
Child prodigy.
yeah, literally child prodigy. And it's like watching him play this shit, like, brother, what are you on? This is like insane. But no, he was nice enough to let us go up there for the weekend and record the drums, and he assisted the engineering on it and like gave some suggestions for certain drum parts, cool, which was super cool of him to do. But yeah, the song Kind Regards, I'll just touch on one thing about that is that was kind of the first one that I wrote instrumentally, at least when I first joined the band. And it was originally, because sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just fuck around with like random like acapella tracks and then just like record like a metal instrumental over it on guitar and all that. But
This is my favorite story.
Kind Regards, the song Kind Regards, if you take out Tommy's vocals and you put in the acapella for Gary Come Home from SpongeBob, it fits perfectly. You may have to change the key, but that song was originally a post-hardcore version of Gary Come Home. And so I showed it to Tommy over Discord one night because I thought it was jokes. And then he was like, can you mute the vocal? Can you send me this instrumental? And then now it's this song, Kind Regards. I don't know if you want to touch on that one.
Yeah,
but-
I could definitely do Kind Regards. It's so. I mean, I don't know. We'll try to make light of the situation. So it starts off as a Gary Come Home song, and then it actually, I don't know if we mentioned it last podcast. Yeah, I probably did, but like, yeah. So that song was actually a very good release for me to write about my brother who passed. So that's what that whole song's actually about. It's just about like letting go of that kind of pain, and that's kind of like a recurring theme in this whole EP as well. Like it's just about like letting go of all the pain or anger that you might have felt for someone, or just kind of, I don't know, can't seem to get rid of. So it's kind of like just a call to the people who might have just felt like a little bit lost in their life right now. And it's just, man, like if you just give it one more day, I swear everything can change around. Like that's and all it usually takes, just, one more second, one more minute, one more day. And like, maybe you meet that girl in that coffee shop, and then it's just like, boom. And then your life just changes around her. I don't know what the heck it would be. I thought you mentioned a coffee shop, so then I was just, to be honest. But yeah, like it's just, I don't know, like you never know what's right around the corner. So it's just, yeah, that's kind of what that song, obviously, kind of like what I was touching on before. Like it's like a, it's a very personal song for me and my own reason, but like I also want this song to be something personal to everybody else who listens to it. So, like it could be a big range of anything that, just whatever kind of bullshit people are kind of going through right now. Like if you just give it one more day, I swear to God, like your life could definitely change around. So yeah, but that was Kind Regards. And then we do have one more. You want to go over Decay?
I guess we didn't touch on it.
We didn't really. Okay, I can.
Yeah.
DK was actually, that was another one. The opening riff, that's another one that Jaden wrote. And something that our producer actually pointed out is, because DK starts off the EP, is that it starts with a riff that Jaden wrote, and then it ends because Kind Regards is the last song. It ends with the song about him, so it's like it opens with him here, and then it closes with him there. But yeah, Decay is definitely one of, if not the heaviest song that we have. And oh yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna give you Decay.
Oh. Is that the one where he's like 1 minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a short story, but
Yeah.
it's a great one.
So, I mean, to be honest, I hope she's doing well. But I had a bad, I had a breakup at the time, and it was like young teenage years.
Like,
And,
you just
I
have
mean,
one of those like, fuck you, but I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, no, like genuinely, I mean, I don't know. I've grown up a bit, so it's okay.
Have
Like,
you really, though?
Yeah, we don't need to dwell. It's whatever it is. But like, I went through a pretty bad breakup at the time, and I remember like, I knew it was coming, and we ended up breaking up in a car ride, and it kind of sucked. But I remember coming home and like walking up the stairs, and I'm kind of like quiet, and I just walk into my room, and my brother's room was like across from mine, and like I kind of shut the door, and I just kind of went like I was just like fuck, and I was like kind of pissed off, kind of sad. My brother knocks on the door, and he was always like very monotone, so I'll try and like imitate him. It's fucking yeah, he was awesome, but like he just came in, he's like, "What's up? So did you and her break up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think we did." "Well, did you or not?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we did." "Okay, give me 1 minute." And then he like leaves. He took 5 minutes, little bastard, but like whatever. He like comes back, and he comes back with that like main riff that you'll hear on this Decay song. And I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "I wrote it for you. Now just write it about her and we'll be okay." And then so then I like started writing those kind of lyrics, and like it kind of comes from a personal stem of a breakup for me. But Decay is just kind of like about trying not to be so people pleasing in a way. Like it's about just like, like it's not watching yourself kind of decay away from who you're supposed to be or who you're meant to be. It's like, we're not going to put on this facade or this makeup just to make somebody else happy. Like, I think it's just about like being true to yourself, and then just being like, look, if you don't like me for who I am, then that's your call, and that's nothing against you, but I'm not going to fake who I am. So that's kind of what that whole song's about. It's just kind of like done with all the kind of bullshit of trying to make people happy and just focusing on making yourself happy. So yeah, that's what Decay is about. But
Well said.
yeah,
Very well said.
thanks. I appreciate that one. But yeah, that's how that song started.
Well, shit, I'll say for all 4 songs, I was going to start asking questions about them, but you guys just answered every single one of them through those synopses. And at the same time, I'm thinking, my God, I'm going to have like an interesting tidbit for each and every song I can cut up into a short and put it out online as like, hey, check this out. All of a sudden, bing, bang, boom, we got everything set. I love the fact with Decay, just the backstory of it is, you broke up with your girlfriend? Yeah. All right, comes back. Now check out this riff.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, though, to kind of have that in there, especially, and also have it be your most aggressive song, and then end with a Jane riff on Kind Regards as well. Or, yeah, it was Kind Regards, right?
Yeah.
So it all makes sense to kind of put that in there together. And one thing I did notice throughout this EP, through these 4 songs, was there's definitely a growth in the musicality that's there, and the musicianship that's there. And I think especially with your producer, having you not necessarily be more maybe more mindful of the choices that you're making too, and understanding exactly what sounds are going to work with what ideas you have. It does stand out because in a song, we'll use Decay as an example, because I'm looking through it, especially with the aggression and some of the sound and the lyrics. It's kind of like if there's some 41 and some Avoid thrown into the mix lyrically to kind of create a little bit more of that sound that is there. For Kind Regards, that one, I got to read my overall synopsis of that, because that one was kind of wild. It was overall, I think, no exceptions here, mixed punk at the start with a more melodic emo and 80s rock song style to get a heavily emotional, pushing song that makes us feel like we are leaving something behind that we can't get back. The vocals in the chorus are well done as a contrast to the rest of the song, and that is really a major sticking point to the song. I've said in the rest of the synopsis, so I put in there again. This is like if AFI went more emo with an 80s rock inspiration back in 2006. This song could be on the December Underground album from AFI.
Holy shit.
Yes!
Yo.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. I got chills.
Yeah, we're putting that one on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that on the cover. I mean, I could definitely do Rest of Our Lives too. You could put that on the cover too, because I have except for that one. Overall, this is the band's turn at a song that was going to be a little more fun and lighthearted with the pop punk style. And while the verses really make me think I'm kind of at times listening to a Bowling for Soup song, I love the opening and the chorus. It takes you to a mindset of where everything is fucked, but let's enjoy today because we have the rest of our lives to worry and be afraid. Let's enjoy what we can.
Hell yeah, that is.
Hell
that's
yeah.
Basically what it is, yeah.
That's what that song is for.
Yeah.
With a good old "What, Karen?" thrown in there.
That was so. I don't know. That was
so much
that's
fun in the
probably
studio.
yeah. Like it was just like because I remember Aaron's like, dude, we just need we need something. Like it's just got something. I'm just like, what, Karen? I just fucking yelled it. He's like, yo, we gotta fucking do that. That's gotta be it. And I did so many what Karens. It was ridiculous. Try to get the right one, but
Shout out Aaron's girlfriend for doing the Karen feature
Oh.
on that song.
yeah. There's like a female voice in the song, and she's like, Tommy, and I'm like, what, Karen? Her name's actually not Karen, and she's pretty cool. And Aaron, to you and your girlfriend, thanks for letting us use your house to record this EP. We appreciate it. And thanks for letting me pee in your toilet. It was good stuff.
Well, you always got to thank around that, especially because that's going to be a little more immaculate. The one thing I was like about Rest of Our Lives, too, especially with the opening, that is because it's reminded me of like a Midwest emo style opening, but it was definitely a lot more upbeat with the dialing phone, with the conversation going back and forth. And it just made the song kind of have that, hook right from the beginning that you want to get into it, and the energy just flowed through it right then and there. And after the chorus, I was even thinking, like, let's just enjoy this song. It's like life. We've got so much other crap we can worry about, so much other crap we can be afraid about, but let's just enjoy it for what it is. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's really like, I don't know. It's honestly, this song for me is just about these three other dudes, to be honest with you. It's like, I don't know. I just had such a good time with them, whether we're jamming or just hanging out. And it's just like, I don't know. The rest of my life is going to be enjoyable if these three dudes are in it. So,
All right, turn the camera off.
you
so we
know,
can make out a
it's
little
just,
bit.
yeah, it's just, that's what it is to me.
I'm
So
not
it's
going
like-
to turn the camera off. I'm just going to put my face up
Yeah.
there so you guys can just have fun, and I'm not going to, taint my my poor little eyes, even though I can see your camera right there.
Yeah, but the video doesn't really show that too much, but
Yeah, we're working
It's
on
good
the
stuff.
video right now, but it's basically just gonna follow what in our heads is kind of the theme, with like Tommy being clocked in at work and trying to get to the party the rest of us are at already, and just being like, "Fuck work, you can work tomorrow, party tonight." That's the vibe of the song.
It'll be a good time.
And then that's when you need me and Drag to come in and go, Tommy. So he goes, what, Karen?
Kevin?
Kevin, Karen, it's kind of close. It would work.
Yeah, that's good.
Plus, it'd be kind of funny, though. But that's going to be something that's interesting to see how this whole entire EP plays out once it's released. I have a feeling Rest for Life is going to be especially a song you play at the Rock the Park show, just because it's going to have that bounce, it's going to have that upbeat feel. And if people are really feeling the music at that point in time, you guys are going to open up that show. So go for it, set the tone, because everyone's going to be there waiting for, especially Bad Omens with how big they've gotten. But you guys have a chance to set the tone from the get-go, get everyone into it right away.
It's very pop punk, and obliged by being in a band to be like, did we just write the song of the summer, bro? Like, I'm just kidding. but it's very pop punk summery vibes. So yes, we're definitely playing it at Rock the Park.
Just have someone, dress up either in drag, or have a female come up there and do the Tommy, so then you can yell what, Karen, right in their face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine having Blake up in drag. I'd be like, what, Karen?
Why are we imagining this? Let's talk about this after the
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, we can talk about it later, but of course we got an EP coming out. We've got Rock the Park on July 11th coming up as well for everybody to go check them out if you're in Canada, or if you want to make the trip up there, because you also can see Dayseeker, Under Oath, Bad Omens, and Cancer Bats as well. Beyond that, though, I know there's going to be more coming from you guys in 2025, but I do have one more question before we wrap this up, if you guys are ready for it.
Go for it.
I asked you this question the last time you were on the podcast, and this is the first time I've ever been able to have a band back on the podcast and ask this to them twice. So now is your time, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of you. I'm going to ask for 1 each. So, guys, can you name me a band or artist that you love, that you would love to see more people get into right now?
Like local bands or big bands?
bands that you want to see more people get into. If it's your friends, if it's your family, if it's, bands you're like, I really like them, I really like listening to them, and I wish more people would. Those bands, they all fit any genre, anything you're interested in. Up to you.
So yeah, there's our we're actually good friends with the guys in this band, but local band known as Pot is Drugs. They've been doing a lot of like good stuff. The music they've been putting out sounds really solid.
Great band name.
Yeah, great band name. Yeah, and just every one of those guys in the band, they're just lovely dudes, and love seeing them doing what they love and achieving their dreams just like we are. Yeah, so hopefully they can get big things going their way.
Very, very catchy singles by them too. Check them out. But for me, my suggestion will be kind of a newer one. I don't even think they existed the last time we were on the podcast. But this, like, I don't even know what genre. I like punk, but what subgenre of punk? I don't know. But they're called Wine Problems. I think they're just Wine Problems band or something on Instagram. But it's just this like. There are all these Fanshawe music students who are like, or I don't know, Western music students, whatever they're from, that are way overly talented and like just put on a really awesome, like crazy punk show. It feels so unique when you're watching their shows of like, you just want to dance and have a good time. I don't know. It's really unique, and I highly suggest people check them out. It's very good.
Well, we drinking wine in the pit then for Wine Problems.
Yes,
That's the way you got to do it.
Band I'm definitely gonna shout out is a band called New Nerve. They're like a pretty local. I don't think they're from St. Mary's technically, but the drummer in that band used to be the bassist in this band a long time ago, and he also used to babysit me for a little bit, which is really funny. Yeah, like no joke. I hated staying home by myself, so he babysat me. We just hung out and played NHL games like for a long time, and it was a good time. And like their music really reminds me of like the early 2000s NHL like soundtracks, like the one where it's got like Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World on it. Like it's just got like that kind of like NHL vibe, and I don't know, they're pretty good. And they just opened up for Texas King actually, which is pretty cool for them. So this time I'm definitely gonna shout out New Nerve for sure. So Zach, my boy, I love you, dude, and thanks for babysitting me for all those years.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with E&BW. They're a duo, like a pop punk duo, just a singer, guitarist, and then drummer. And they're both insanely talented for how old they are too, because they're pretty young. Like yeah, they do really good at both like the pop punk stuff, and then they've put out like a couple like heavier stuff, and it's like, fuck guys, you guys are good at the heavy. So like having that mix, like I don't know, like I've been watching them for years, and just like seeing them grow makes me so happy. Yeah, I think they're great.
Their new heavy song really does go well.
Yeah.
Like we'll just say it's not my fifth mention, but obligatory mention that last time we mentioned $40 Henny, the members are now in Blacktop. The Blacktops, as they're called, they're still fire.
Still fire, still same members, just different name, right?
Mostly same members, at least. I don't know.
Mostly same members.
Just
Okay.
members. It's more of a blues thing now.
Still sick. Check it out. Anyway, that's it.
But
Bonus
still
one.
some good suggestions, good examples for us to check out, and everybody check out No Exceptions as well. And I want to thank you guys for coming to the podcast once again. Always a pleasure to have you guys. And of course, for everyone listening, when it comes to No Exceptions, please go straight for the podcast below where it says Find No Exceptions online. Links, labels for everything for you can check in on them online, keep in touch with them, listen to their music, find when they're playing live, and get tickets for any upcoming shows. All going to be down there for you. So please go and follow along with that. I did all the hard work. All you got to do is click the link and go. Now, also, gentlemen, the last meeting of the podcast, I made a promise that so when I get to see you perform live for the first time, first round's on me. Well, this is the second time I've been on the podcast. Have not seen you perform live yet. Yeah, we got to go to 2, right?
I think we made the promise last time that the second round was on us, so I guess third round would be on you now then?
Yeah, or I'll just bring a case like I did a couple of times beforehand. You know it always works.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Honestly,
figure it out. It'll be a party.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
That's
out. You guys will have, if I'm thinking about, like, there'll be a venue you play here around the Milwaukee area. You'll have the bus parked or the van parked literally on the street in front of the venue. Someone will be sitting in the van. All of a sudden, you'll hear a knock on the door. I'll be like, who the fuck is it? Beer here. Open up and just be like, hey, guys.
Kevin.
It was one guy.
What's your go-to beer though? Like, what's your all-time favorite? Like, if I were to show up to your tour bus, say you're on a tour bus, and I show up to your door,
That's a
what beer?
great
What
question.
beer are you hoping that I show up with?
Well, I'll say this: my favorite kind of beer is free. My second favorite kind of beer is cold.
Nice, good answer. Honestly,
Do you have a certain brand that you always gravitate towards too?
Ooh, yeah, especially from Milwaukee, so anything in the Miller brands always ends up popping off with me. So Miller, Coors, of course, always, because they merged back in like 2007, so I'm always big into that. Anything from Leinenkugels is always good, especially in my taste buds. Shoot. I never can get Yingling over here because they don't sell it west of the state of Indiana. So whenever I go like to music festivals or whatnot, I always got to get like through a couple cases of Yingling because I love that stuff. So yeah.
all right. So to the audience, follow No Exceptions and bother Miller to get the Chord Progression Podcast sponsorship.
Yes.
Oh, if I got a beer sponsorship from a company that I interned at 9 years ago, that would be just wild.
All right.
This is brought to you by beer. How do I know it's good? Yeah, because I actually drink it. Are you serious? Yes. Yes, I do.
And it's all gone, so I need fucking more.
It is all gone. I don't have any in the house right now.
Mm.
Well, damn.
I'm down to just my like 7-8 bottles of tequila. That's it.
Mm.
It's an emergency.
Oh no.
What are we ever gonna do?
What are we ever gonna do? We need to throw a party with No Exceptions. That's what we got to do.
Yeah,
Hell
we
yeah.
all got a
Put it
party
in the
together.
calendar.
There we go.
It was like, if life gives you lemons, makes lemonade. Then find the podcaster who has 8 bottles of high-end tequila just sitting in his house and be like, dude, let's throw a party.
See, again, this is the point. It's all about networking. See what we've done here?
We've gone from talking about music to trying to get the Chord Progression Podcast sponsored by Miller Brands and throwing a party with all the high-end tequila I've collected over the past 5 years.
I think we started a GoFundMe. That's what I think. A GoFundMe for the beer.
go.
That's what I think.
That would be kind of fun. A GoFundMe for the beer, and you know where we're going to drink it? Denny's parking lot.
Hey.
That was time for number 3, guys. We're not in this by saying goodbye. They'll be way too final. I still got to make good on that promise. Plus, this is your second time on the podcast, but not the last time. So I know you're going to be coming back. This is not goodbye, gentlemen. This is. I'll see you later.
See you, man.
See ya, buddy.
Woo! Well, folks, it was my interview with the guys from No Exceptions, and now it's time for Kevin's final thoughts. And this band shows what it's like to put in the work, and I'm glad we talked about it and that they didn't shy away from it when it comes to how important it is to market and network with your band and, you know, show yourself out there for so many other people to see, especially in your local scene. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't put in the time or effort to do something like that. And same thing with the podcast as well. And I'll admit, like, there's things that I've not done on this podcast when it comes to putting myself out there, networking and marketing, that I probably could have done for one reason or another. And that's on me. So I have to live with that. I have to take the hit on that. But when it comes specifically what they did around going to shows, constantly talking to people, showing that support and just being there, it got them to know people that they needed to know in order to push their music in the right direction, how to get in the best situation possible for the band, and succeed overall. So that's exactly what they did, and you'll see that success continue, especially them playing Rock the Park and with the release of Kind Regards coming up. I do want to thank the boys for coming to the podcast today. When it comes to No Exceptions, please go to the description of the podcast below where it says Find No Exception Online. Links levels for everything are going to be there for you to go and check them out, find the music, find a show, and enjoy. Please also follow us in the Chord Progression Podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links to the podcast below. Hit subscribe right down here if you are on YouTube. Hit the subscribe or follow button on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you're there. Hit the like button on this episode to help push us in the algorithm. That's always an important thing. I want to thank you for your support. And that's going to be for me, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. It's absolutely big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah.